I'm so sorry.
That's alright. Let's just walk straight back on.
Oh my god, this is the best beer I've had here so far.
It's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it actually has. It doesn't just taste like beer water.
We're all here. That's what I need to do tonight.
Did the tea help you either?
That was so blasted by the heat.
Is that in your necklace?
Yeah, I bought it at the temple. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. It was really cool to watch her like take all these professional pictures though. Like that ledge was a straight like 50-foot drop down.
You're on 1 foot
Yeah.
on the ledge with water.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? It's fucking
That's what I'm
crazy.
saying. It was super sketchy. Like super sketchy.
I mean, you could have lost your balance easily.
Yeah. Look at my face at one point. I was like, I can't believe we're doing this. Oh, look, I did a full fingertip. I held that
Wow.
for a long time.
Sounds like you had a great time, and it was definitely worth it, huh? Stopped to eat at that little place. We were just finishing up, and this Thai woman just comes and slumps down at our table and leans against James like this. She was very pretty. Like, she was a very pretty woman, but she was drunk off of her ass.
Really?
Yeah, and she leans against James and she goes, "I'm hungry." And she looks up at me. She goes, and she looks at James, and like her eyes are really heavy, and her head's doing the drunk swivel. And she goes, "This your boyfriend?" And we started laughing. Goes, "This your husband?" And she goes, "I'm hungry." And she reaches into James might not have been quite finished with his soup.
Yeah.
And James like, no, but she scoops up anyway, and she starts. And we're just for a while, it was just kind of like, okay, what's going to happen next?
Yeah.
She's drunk off her ass, and it's 1:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
James looks at me and he goes, "We're pretty much done, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So we stood up, and they thought we were leaving because of her, and they wanted us to stay and get rid of her.
Yeah.
And then they moved her to a different table. I started to think that maybe they actually knew her, and so they had her move. And she spoke decent English. Something she was drunk.
Well, yeah, but then with all kind of their, like they don't sell alcohol from like 2 to 5 every day.
Is that every day?
Yeah, I believe.
I knew they had some restrictions because of the King's anniversary of.
No. So on normal days, like I believe 2 to 5, they don't sell alcohol, and then they don't even sell it until 11. That's so
I
good.
said, "You drunk?" And she was like.
You have any other dates tonight? Are you gonna hang out with that girl again?
I asked Gal if she wanted to hang out again. I was texting. I'll have to show you this other woman. She's so artsy and creative.
Yeah.
Just so cool and so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, and she was the one I was telling you where she's got like this guy who's coming back and they're gonna date, and he's away on business.
Oh,
for
and
2
she,
days.
yeah, because since you don't live here,
I'll give you.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
Looks like a little goddess. This is the woman I fell in love with at the retreat, and she lives in San Francisco now, but she's a total artist too. She sent me her address because she lives in Mill Valley, and I was like, "Isn't it a little soon, Andrea?" She was all, "I want you to peek through my window."
She's straight.
Well, yeah, she's like divorced and everything, but I feel like she's the type that would totally like hook up for fun. Like the video that you made with Wee.
Yeah.
was so good. I was seriously cracking up when she was like texting on her phone, and you're like, she's texting her boyfriend, and then like
No,
2 minutes, and then 2 minutes later, you're like, she's at it again.
So she was like,
yeah.
doing like that.
It was just real, and it was like raw and honest, and super just relatable. But yeah, like there was moments of insight, and there was moments of calm, and that's good.
Yeah, and you know, the thing about that too is like I didn't know what we were doing, didn't have a very clear direction on where I wanted to take it. It was just, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And something cool came out of it in the editing. Like I was able to put stuff together like that. And that's what I'm wondering about this. Like I'm just pulling footage right now and hoping that it turns out interesting when I go to edit it, but I don't know that it will. That's kind of what's scaring the shit out of me right now. We both kind of coach each other on our YouTube content. You know, he's saying, you know, you're going back into this teacher mode, and I don't think that's what MidLife Man is about. MidLife Man is more about exploration, and you're taking people with you through that exploration, not telling them, okay, here's this and this technique, or here's how you should think about stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'd rather go there and do that, but it's more uncomfortable now because I've spent so many videos and so much time doing NLP and teaching NLP and like playing that teacher role. Whereas this needs to be, you know, about like exploration and insight and, you know, asking, you know, for Lee, she's into men who are older. She's into middle-aged men. So
How old is she?
she's 35 or 36 now, but she's always been into older guys. And her boyfriend is like almost 10 years older than her. So are you into older women?
I mean, I was. My first relationship, you know, she was 9 years older than me. Yes, she does, but she's also still struggling with being gay.
Really? Like internal struggle or outward struggle?
And outwards. I think it's obviously both. You know, I put myself in this situation. It's not entirely fair. Because I know who I am and I know what I want. And she claims she does, but she's not willing to take, you know, she's too concerned about the outward opinion of that.
Let me ask you, is there such a thing as just not being like, hey, I'm out, and just like being like, yeah, okay, I'm out, and if it comes up, then it comes up, and
I would say that's me.
So what do you think about the woman from Sex and the City, one of the actresses, who says she chose to be gay? What do you think about that?
On a certain level, it's not a choice.
Do you think she might have just been like bisexual and she just said, okay, I'm going to make the commitment to go
Most
with
women are confused about it. Most women, I mean, I forget exactly what the statistic was, but they've had thoughts or fantasies about whether it's kissing or being with another woman. And that's been proven.
So you think it might be like these women, a lot of them are really lesbian, but they're fighting all this conditioning of growing up and seeing man and woman in movies, men and women in TV, men and women and their mom and dad.
I believe we're so, especially in the U.S., we're so socially conditioned. I mean, think about until recently, all movies and all ever love story ever made was man, woman, princess, prince, king, queen, like, you know, like that.
And you've dated men, so how does that all fit into your life?
It was more society standards. Yeah, you're supposed to be with a man, or you date men. That's what we do.
But you've been attracted to men.
Yeah. A lot of the time, I just wanted to connect with somebody.
I guess I'm fortunate because it hasn't been so complicated for me. But when I talk to not just women but men too, there's a lot more complexity with some people. Like for me, it's just been very simple. Like, I've just been into women, and it's I feel like that's an area of my life that has just been pretty easy, except for, you know, the hard part about it is just like wanting certain women and then not wanting me back, and then also wanting to like not just be chosen by a woman and that like, oh, that's the best that I can do, a woman who's chosen me that I'm not really completely into, but she's the only one available or something like that. Like that's the complicated challenges that I've had, but it has not been to do with like questioning, what am I into? What do I like? Like that's been the easy part for me.
Yeah, and then, you know, it becomes even harder when it's not, you know, fears surrounding it, especially with how your parents or friends will accept it. You know, and when fear kicks in, you know, it's all bad.
Closest I've come to that is my parents don't really ever or never really wanted me to date outside my race. Then it became kind of fun, like, yeah, I'm gonna go date out.
You don't want white women.
But I mean, I like them all. I have friends who go like, yeah, so you don't really like white women, do you? And I'm like, no, it's so not the case. It's just I like all of them. So if you see me with various races, it doesn't mean it's to the exclusion of white women. It totally isn't.
I feel like women of different races have very different perspectives on dating and love. And so it is really cool that you are kind of getting the broad spectrum of different understandings, different cultures.
That's a lot of times how it started, was just my curiosity about where they're from, and then just showing that interest. They go, oh, he's into me, and I'm like, wow, yeah, I'm into her. Growing up in the deep south where, you know, there is that separation, like you're not supposed to like cross that boundary with black people, and I remember getting to college and I was like, oh no, I do want to cross that boundary. Like, I'm really curious about that. The first few black women who I kissed, and I was just like, wow, that was interesting. Like that was because I was breaking like a social norm. And then when I started like actually like dating, and I remember the first time I had sex with a black woman, and it was just like, it was an interesting experience, more than just like having, you know, any woman that I was dating having sex with, because of that norm that I was breaking. Like I felt it as it was happening. Like, wow, I am crossing a boundary here, but it's an imaginary boundary, but it was a boundary that had been conditioned from a very early age, and it was just like, that made it kind of special. Like, yeah, I'm breaking through that.
Everybody thinks it's so cut and dry. Like,
people are looking for the right perspective. Right? We're looking for their perspective that's like, and it doesn't even mean like the moral right. It's like people are looking for like the thing that works. But the truth is what works is being able to tap into multiple perspectives.
Exactly.
And being able to flow and shift
just having one view.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I think true wisdom is cultivated.
By any means, consider you a womanizer or anything like that.
But I am. Have been.
I know you have been.
She was asking me about that, and I was like, well, I'm not doing that anymore. Like, I'm not going out and approaching women and doing that. And she was like, well, why not? And I said, well, it was a phase, and there was some objectification of women involved with that.
See, the thing is I know you have. I'm just saying, on your current endeavors, and I feel like the mental process that you are on right now, it's truly just trying to gain experience and understanding. It's not.
That's how it always. Well, that's what I. So, like when people talk about, you know, seduction and pickup and all that, I knew right from the start that like this is not. I needed to be very clear about what I wanted from it, and then when I got it, it was time to exit. Like, because I saw guys get caught up in it and go too far with it, and it becomes the only thing that they think about. Or like if I didn't have a woman, you know, or I didn't have a date at least one a week or something like that.
I know, I've seen you be hard on yourself.
And I was like, and then I got to the point where I was like, you know,
like, is this for fun and understanding, or is this a job? And
well, that's what it started to feel like. It started to feel like that, and that's when I realized, okay, I'm done. It's not going to be, you know, even if I had 3 women a week to date, that's not, you know, when you're at that point, then you're worried about losing all of them, which happened to me a few times. Like, I mean, all of the women, like, they would get into relationships with other men or whatever, and they would just all go at the same time. And then I would feel like, if that's what my happiness is dependent on, then I can always lose it, so therefore it's not really happy. It's almost a constant state of insecurity. The way that I was going about it very systematically, you know, approach, date, you know, the whole thing, I was just like, I'm done with that. It kind of forced me to go a little bit deeper into what I want. And it's really connection. I mean, I just really want to connect.
That's what every human wants, is connection and happiness. Every single person in this world is just craving connection and happiness.
It's like they're craving that connection, but that's as far as they can go with it. It's sex and...
that's because there's a lot of fear and insecurity.
Totally, yeah. And you expose yourself to hurt and pain if you go deeper with it. She got upset with me, and it was like she was trying to make me choose between my kids and her. And I was just like,
Oh, yeah.
Fuck you. You know, first of all, my kids are going to come first, but
Yeah.
secondly, like, I don't want to be in a relationship with someone who's ever going to put me in that position to make a choice like that. It's always going to be my kids, but still, like, fuck you for making me, for putting me in a situation like that. And that's when I backed off again and went, no, I need to date a lot more women. Kind of went on a rampage after that.
Yeah. Scary is that?
And I told her that. I was like, you're being a little too nice. And she was like, why don't men like nice women? And I said, because nice women have hidden agendas. I'm trying to explain, like, you know, we all want something. So you want something out of being nice to me. And it doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean it's like, you have like some ulterior motive, but we all want something. We do things because we want something. Even if it's because we want something good for someone else, because when that person's happy, then it makes you happy. But it's still a desire. That's still, you do things because you want something. And that's what I was just trying to explain it to her. She thought it meant like that I was accusing her
Of
like,
wanting something?
or accusing her of like trying to get something out of me. And I was just like, no, I'm not saying that. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, like I mentioned, please click the like button and hit the subscribe button if you would like more of these videos, and the bell so that you can get notified when I put new videos out. If you'd like to get my free MidLife Manifesto, click this icon here. It'll bring you to a page where you just enter your email and the MidLife Manifesto will be emailed to you. The principles are universal. You can apply it really at any age and any gender. Again, it's coming from a perspective of a man in midlife. Wishing you joy, happiness, and passion at any point in your life. Take care.